my next guest, very special guest, a long friend of mine. He's a foul-mouthed, great man, very great man. Makes me laugh a lot. Please welcome Paul Sherriff.
How are you? A round of applause.
That's it. So, Paulie.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about?
Whatever you like, mate. You called me in. I'll talk about whatever you like.
First of all, thanks for coming.
No problems, mate.
What was it like for Paul Sherriff to grow up in Hoppers Crossing?
It was a good upbringing. Pretty normal, really. Yeah. Two good parents. Although that sort of turned the shit a little bit when Mum died. She died when I was 12 years old. She was really sick, and the doctors couldn't get a diagnosis, and she had enough, and she ended up committing suicide. So, yeah, that's a sensitive topic, but I don't mind talking about it, especially if it helps someone.
Exactly. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah. I've learned a lot from it though. I used to look at it as a bad thing, and I went through stages where I wanted to do the same thing and thought it was okay just because she did it. But well, in the end, I use it as a strength now instead of a weakness, and that's how I pulled myself out of
That's really powerful.
Yeah, that's how I pulled myself out of it. You just have to find a positive in every negative, and you can pull yourself through some shit.
Yeah, see, like things like that, I want to try to understand because you've used something to help you.
Yeah.
Get out of a situation like that, you know?
Yeah.
And if we can figure out ways that almost like replicate it in a way for other people to use.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, this podcast hopefully is helping with that. But yeah, so my mother, she just experienced a few things in her life, like her siblings. So just to give you a backstory, my mother's oldest sister committed suicide. She was in a mental health, mental hospital for many years, and then her twin brother went missing when she was younger. So yeah, we're just having a conversation about that.
Yeah,
but
hard stuff.
Yeah, that's the sort of things that are, you know, I feel like I need to talk to people like you. You know, a lot of people just to understand different perspectives of life. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like I learn a lot from you.
Yeah.
Well,
I've learned a lot
because I think you're very open and honest. You know, like,
well, I've learned a lot from you too, mate, because you're the most positive person I've ever met in my entire life. That's just a fact.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I've never seen you say a word in anger, or you don't. You're a mentally balanced man.
I think because I learn off people like yourself. You know? Yeah, thanks for that.
That's all right.
I'll keep that video, audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so growing up, you had a bit of trouble with your parents. And what age were you when she passed?
I was 12.
12. Oh, that's
Still remember the date. It was Tuesday, October the 20th, 1987. Never forget that date.
Wow. That's kind of like an age where you go through that transition, you know?
Yeah, starting
being a kid too.
Yeah. Starting to get hairs on your dick and all that sort of stuff. Well, not me. I was a late bloomer, actually. I was 14, so... But yeah, look, it was tough. But everyone's got a different reason for feeling the way they do. So it's... I've tried to take advice off other people. I've found it hard sometimes because our circumstances are different. One thing I did learn is that you can never say there's always someone worse off for your own situation, because that pushes everything down and actually makes things worse, because no matter what the circumstances are, the feeling you have is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So just because someone else has had a worse thing happen to the thing that's bothering you, it's really important not to say there's someone worse off, so I should be right, because it's not. It doesn't work.
And it's subjective too.
Yeah.
And everyone is different.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really apply, you know.
Yeah. Everyone. The only best advice I can give is to just try and, even if it's one positive thought will kill an army of 1,000 negative ones. If you can find one positive thought out of the worst thing in the world, the worst thing that still happened to me was losing mum, and just to find one positive, it's hard to find, a really hard thing to do, but it helped me like you wouldn't believe, and then it sort of grows into more
like momentum,
thoughts.
Building momentum.
You can do it, and I still get down now over all different sorts of things.
That's natural. That's just behaviour. That's just part of life.
Part of being a human.
Yeah.
I don't want to die anymore though. That's what I'm really happy about.
I'm happy too, man.
Yeah.
I'm very. I'm very big on the positive and negative. Even though you mentioned that you see me as like a positive person, but I also appreciate and value, the positive and negatives. I think life just naturally just hands people negative situations regardless, so you don't have to worry about something negative happening in your life. But so knowing that, it helps me be a bit more balanced, I think. A lot of people, they do say, I'm a bit too positive.
No.
But it's because I know that life is going to hand me,
you can never be too positive.
Exactly,
You can never be too positive. You can be cocky, that's a big difference, you know what I mean? But you're just a positive person.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about life, I'm just trying to enjoy life.
Yeah.
I think that kind of brings me back to like the center point, is I always remind myself that this is just to be enjoyed. Regardless of what happens.
Yeah. And so you've been around some bad stuff in your life too, haven't you?
I think so.
You've seen some bad things and been around what's considered bad people and things like that, situations.
Definitely seen fair share.
Yeah, and that's what you're positive out of it. You don't want to.
That's what I mean. Life is just going to put you in these situations anyway.
Yeah, it's all how you deal with it, and it's not easy. No. Like people are probably sitting there thinking, "Oh, this bloke's got it all worked out." I don't. To say something and act on something are two completely different things. Everyone knows what to do. It's doing it is the hardest part. It takes a lot of hard work.
Exactly.
It does.
All right. So to switch things up a little, what makes Paul Sherriff excited? Not in a sexual way.
Well, sex is exciting for anyone, isn't it? Everyone likes to drop a stack every now and again. But
what do you get into, Paulie?
Look, I love sitting out the back around a fire, listening to music and writing.
Oh wow, writing like
poem type stuff. I call them rhymes because I'm not a real poet.
I don't know the difference.
It's not really poetic. No, poetic I look at as, it
sounds more poetic.
Sort of the wording people use, like really descriptive words. Mine are simple and basic. I'll give you an example before we go. I've got a couple.
There's a complexity and simplicity. Yeah.
I'll give you an example of one before we go. I've got a few on my phone.
Yeah, I'd like to hear.
That was a heartbreak one.
That's all right.
From when I broke from my ex-wife.
Yeah.
That was pretty sort of hard thing. More out of love, but walking away from your kids is probably the hardest thing, And without going into too much detail, especially if she is,
exactly. We don't want to.
Yeah, we had
cross any lines.
Yeah, you'll get the gist of it. Yeah, you'll get the gist of it anyway. I'll read it out for you.
Yeah,
whenever you like.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you do that quite often?
Yeah, I do write a lot of stuff. Yeah, quite a lot. It helps me. Well, Mum used to do that. She always said, writing things down, even if it's something that you hate and you can burn it later, anything. If you don't feel like you can talk to someone, it can
a good technique. Yeah,
it can really, really, really help you. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the mirror therapy, I came up with that one myself.
What's that?
With my own fuck ups, like the really bad where I've made a cunt of myself on the drink or something like that. You know what I mean? Where you've just done a stupid thing, and we all do stupid things.
Of course.
I tell myself...
This podcast could be a stupid thing.
I tell myself about it look at myself in the mirror and tell myself what I did. And that's a hard thing
then you see it,
Yeah. It's a very hard thing to do. You actually feel stupid at the start, but you do because you're talking to yourself, but it works for me.
It's kind of like when I think about people giving advice, like myself included, it's easy to give advice.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you can see everything.
Yeah.
But, so when you use the mirror technique, you're basically telling yourself something.
Yeah. Well, you're literally fronting it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's one thing to think something, it's another thing to say it to yourself.
Wow, that's...
You
I haven't thought about that one before.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make you like a schizophrenic or a multiple personality person.
No.
It's a
technique.
Yeah.
To help.
Yeah, so that works a little bit for me. Yeah.
What about the alcohol?
Oh, yeah, look, I've learned to control that these days. I do love having a few drinks. I have an off switch, where I never used to have an off switch. I do have that now. I do enjoy a few beers, and I can do it responsibly, you know.
That's
like
what
today,
they all say.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've had me.
I remember when I used to drink.
I've had me fuck ups and that, mate. It's you know,
they're not really fuck ups though.
No, well, more when I was younger
Language.
to now. Yeah, it's as you grow, you get a bit older, and you get sick of doing stupid things. I suppose you do learn, but look, I love having a drink. I don't drink every day. Yeah. I do drink to excess sometimes. I vomited at my girlfriend's house the other night. I just drank too much too fast.
And this is a
that was
girlfriend?
horrible. Yes. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Jackie. She's a champ. She's
shout out.
I've learned so much from her, especially with relationships, because I was living in not so much a dishonest relationship with my ex-wife. We just never spoke about anything. It wasn't that we were lying to each other.
Communication. That's the biggest one.
And it was all to sweep away any reaction or drama, but it just makes things it makes you fall out of love in the end. It really, really does. Yeah. And just because you don't love them anymore doesn't mean you hate them.
Exactly.
But, the communication thing, she's been great for me like that, like very confronting for me at times, because I wasn't used to it. You know, I spent 16 years doing sweeping everything under the carpet. You know, and the other thing she taught me is to make, as soon as something comes up, you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to accept each other's faults as well.
Yeah.
We actually went to high school together.
Oh, so you know each other?
Yeah,
you have some history.
We didn't hang out and stuff since high school. Yeah. We just sort of caught up through Facebook and things like that, and then we ended up catching up for a drink, and one thing led to another, and we're all there.
Oh, wow.
She's great. Like, we don't live together or anything like that, but
that's all right.
She's great. She's easily the most probably influential person I've ever met in my life for the way I think. Like, I've grown. I thought I had it all figured until I met her. I've grown a lot mentally by being with her. She's great.
You'll have to bring her on next time.
Oh, she won't come on here.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
Jackie.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jackie.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Yes.
Very lucky.
Very lucky indeed. Oh, wow. So does Jackie receive a lot of poetry?
Yeah, I've written some things for her, of course. Yeah. Of course I have, yeah.
Does she drink a lot?
No. Oh, she has a few, like with me, but she's not a excessive drinker or anything like that, no.
I kind of... Yeah, I haven't had an alcoholic beverage for, I think, 7 years now.
Do you want one?
I'm thinking I might have to start again. You know, the biggest reason why I stopped drinking was because my mind was focused on other projects.
Yeah.
And at some point I realized I had only had a drink in the last, maybe, like every 6 months I'll have a drink.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, well, I'm not really craving it, you know, that sort of thing. So I thought, how long could I go without having one?
Yeah.
So it's been, I think, just over 7 years now.
Yeah.
But I still miss that social, interaction.
What, are you never going to touch it again?
Oh, I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You can.
But now that I'm sitting down, you know, who knows how long I'm going to be sitting down and talking to people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can. I mean,
I just have to Uber. That's going to cost a lot.
Like, too much of anything is bad for you. It's as simple as that. Everything's in moderation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Too much of anything. Yeah.
Nice. I would have toasted if I had something, but I'm not going to.
No, I was going to say you can. You can just give me a cheers with a full one if you like.
I'll have to drink it then.
Yeah, that's all right. You can have that.
So you spoke about muck-ups in the past. What was one of the biggest ones? If you could share.
There is a biggest one.
Biggest one.
That was alcohol related.
Oh, wow.
I was looking after a house for a bloke and his mum I used to work with. They were going to follow the 500cc's around Europe, the motorbikes.
Oh, okay.
They love the motorbike racing, and I was living in a bungalow out the back, and I went home there. They were gone. They were away in Europe, and they wanted me to look after the house, and I was out in the bungalow. I think I might have told you this story before, have I?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
It's my work.
You haven't.
It's probably my only real true regret. I
don't have any regrets.
Oh, wait till you You haven't let me finish yet. I went to the pub that night and with some friends, and we got back at 2:30 in the morning. It was in Altona, this place. I went out in the bungalow. I went inside the house, and they had an old stainless steel deep fryer, and they had a note on it saying, "Paul, don't use it, it's faulty." I can't. It's going to sound like I'm trying to make it their fault, but I'm not. It's all I take responsibility. I used it. Why would you have a faulty thing? But that's not the point. It
was just a pan?
Yeah, it was just an old stainless steel deep fryer. It was a deep fryer. I turned it on.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I was going to cook some chips in it after there was a note saying don't. They shouldn't have had a faulty one. But
what could you have thought,
I just took the note
What
off.
could go wrong?
Well, I'll tell you what went wrong. I burnt the house down, mate. I went out to the bungalow and the house actually caught on fire. Oh, whole house, yeah. Oh. I didn't burn it to the ground, but the smoke damage is just as bad as a flame. And so it got nasty, of course. They, I wasn't going to bag them for being mad at me, you know what I mean? But it was very, very hard time, more so for them.
How old were you?
I would have been about 22, I think. 22 years old. Yeah, it was. Look, that is my only regret, my main regret, because I heard someone else. No. Oh, look, they were. I heard rumours. They were telling people they're going to get people to hurt me and all these sorts of things, which I couldn't blame them for being angry. And look, they had insurance. That doesn't make it right, you know. But look, it ended up blowing over in the end. I had to leave that workplace and stuff like that because of the conflict. But that was a big muck up. Yeah. And it wasn't my first fire either. I set fire to a friend's garage one time. We were
intentionally?
Well, we're drinking. No, not intentionally. No.
Oh, okay.
They were cleaning engine parts.
Don't burn this garage down.
No, I won't. They were cleaning engine parts. They had a bucket of methylated spirits, all different sorts of stuff. And we'll just all having a drink and stuff. And I just flicked just a spark of a lighter near it, being an idiot in the bucket. It was in front of me. And then my mate went off his head. How dangerous that is and all that. And so to be a smart ass, I did it again and I got a little bit of flame and I kicked the bucket to get out the way. But I caught on fire as well.
Oh, wow.
So I had to get all my clothes off and get taken off to hospital and all that. Look, I didn't get that badly burnt, but and I burnt a school fence down at school playing with fire. So
Paul Sherriff and fires, eh?
I've learnt now. I'm very, very, very confident with fire now. I'm very, very safe.
You smoke a lot too, though?
I smoke cigarettes, yeah. More so when I drink, and anyone that drinks listening will tell you exactly the same thing. It's way more. Bad habit.
Do you smoke more when you drink? Or?
Of course, yeah. Oh, everybody does.
Oh, okay.
Everybody does. You end up with this little yellow stain on your fingers. And,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's, if you, put it this way, on a normal drinking session, say you're drinking for 10 hours, you're at the pub and you go home and have a few more, whatever, you'd probably smoke 40 cigarettes, I reckon. I would.
Oh, yeah?
In 10 hours. That's 4 an hour. That's one every 15 minutes, which is ridiculous. But yeah, like yesterday I stayed in bed all day and did nothing, and I had 2 cigarettes for the whole day. So if I really put my mind to it, I know that I can quit. I know that I don't have to have it.
Yeah.
And I always think about it, but that's one thing I've never put the time into. It's
very addictive thing to get into.
Shocking.
That's why I've always known never to start.
Yeah, well.
Because I just know how addictive it can be.
Yeah, of course. So you're smart like that, Raymond, are you?
I'm just learning from you guys.
Look, that is a bad habit, and I always think about quitting, but then that's a part of the addiction. You find something in your head to just push it away, and you just keep doing it. You know, it's a part of addiction.
Yeah, I've noticed some people, they can, everyone's different. Some people can cold turkey it.
Yeah.
Some people can gradually.
Willpower is a funny thing.
Yeah.
It is. Like I've got it for a lot of things, but something like quitting cigarettes, I haven't tried hard enough, you know what I mean, to know. But like my dad quit smoking.
Nice.
Just bang like that.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I've heard
and it never bothered him once. You know, even when he had a beer or anything, they're a bit old school. I think people from years ago, like around Dad, he's 70 now, like people in that age sort of bracket, they've seemed to have better willpower than what we do these days. I can't work out what that is. I've thought about that a lot.
It's the conditioning our civilizations, I suppose,
Yeah.
with things being convenient.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's just like lifting weights.
Mm.
We don't lift enough in that space like they did.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think we're
They
very
had it
impatient
harder.
in comparison.
Yeah. Why though? Life just
I don't know.
wasn't as simple for them, I suppose. They had to.
I think it's all part of enriching a society. I think. I don't know. Could it be a bad thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just want to go back to like the whole cigarette thing. Do you know any conspiracy theories about cigarettes?
No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard any. What do you got?
I don't know. They seem pretty bad for you.
Oh well, they're not good. That's for sure.
But you have a lot of these. I mean, they've taken down, advertisements for all these sorts of things. But I'm sure there's something behind it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, look at the price of them in Australia. You won't pay.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the prices are.
When I was a kid, when I first started smoking, I was only 13 years old or something. A packet of Peter Jackson 30s was about, I think it was about $2.90. That costs you $51 now.
Oh yeah.
They go up 12.5% pretty much every quarter. So
with inflation and government regulation.
Yeah, well, they're saying they want you to quit. That's why they're putting the prices up. But for all the people that quit with those prices going up, they're still getting the same. They're still getting the same income out of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're putting them up so much. So
exactly.
They're not losing anything.
They're gaining.
Yeah,
and the government's got to make money somehow.
Yeah, and like cancer, if you got rid of cancer, how many jobs around the world are gone? I honestly believe. I don't even think it's a conspiracy with a cure to cancer. I believe that they have one.
Yeah.
Well, I really do. Well, have a look at the royal family. Has anyone in the royal family ever had cancer?
I don't know.
Maybe the elites have a.
Maybe you're onto something.
Maybe the elites have know the cure and only they got access to it. Look, that could be a conspiracy.
That could be one of many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
We won't know till 40 years from now.
Yeah, I'll be dead by then. I think, unless I live till 85.
No one will complain then.
Yeah. True. Why have you got a conspiracy about the cigarettes yourself, or?
I've always wondered, Yeah.
I've
always wondered. It's highly addictive. Government's involved. I'm always highly suspicious of government.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You'd have a good conversation with my girlfriend. She's on to that.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's on to that.
Yeah. I think if I shared my views, a lot of people would disagree. But that's why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to, create dialogue and just learn from people.
Yeah. Well, people aren't always going to agree with you. And
yeah. Well, I wonder why though.
Yeah.
And that's part of the dialogue. There's a genuine reason why people would disagree.
Yeah.
And I need to understand that. That's what I feel.
Well, I think research is the best thing. Look, I don't research enough things, like even things I've just spoken about now. But I think research is the big thing. But how do you know? It depends on what you believe. Like, because how do you know the research you're reading isn't bullshit?
Exactly. An article.
You can do an article. Read something, make up your own mind, and people will either agree or disagree with you.
And what's the legitimacy behind studies and statistics?
Yeah.
Because in order for you to have a convincing, stat, you can't base it on anything, like 30, 40 years. If you're talking about life,
Yeah.
you need something that's a bit more concrete, and I think that's just something that I think about. That's another reason why it's hard to have conversations with people when you have different, you provide different studies that conflict with each other, they contradict each other.
Yeah.
So,
like, it all comes back to what you believe, and you've got a right to believe in whatever you want. Like, I'm not a religious person at all. I don't believe in creators and gods and things. I just don't. And
that's a bit.
There's too many holes in the story. but that's. I don't mind that I'll never sit there and tell someone you're full of shit, because they've got a right to believe in whatever it is they want. But when if a religious person has a dig at me and tells me, "Oh, I'm going to hell," it's like, well, I don't believe in heaven, so I don't believe in hell either. So okay, but I don't like I've had a few religious people have a dig at me, before in the past.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I have. But look, I can take the piss a little bit. When the videos I used to do, I made up my own religion.
Did you?
Called Bodsworthianism. I don't know if you ever saw that video.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'll send it to you after this.
Yeah.
And I made it a public post on Facebook. This is a few years ago now, and I got death threats from people that I don't know.
Wow. Well, we don't want any.
Through my through message requests on my messenger. So I made it
It's an extremely sensitive topic, really.
Yeah, well, it is. But I just thought,
but it's something that we have to talk about.
Yeah. Well, a lot of comedians do joke about it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's religious people in the crowd, and they laugh. They can see. Some people can see the funny side. You know. But yeah, when religious people have a dig at me for not being religious, I do get me back up a little bit, because I'm not having to go at them. I'll never sit there and tell them that they're wrong for believing that, because they've got their own reasons. And
enforce your will, almost.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's not all. Like, I've got heaps of religious friends that'll they laugh. You know.
Yeah.
And there's one bloke at work that's really religious, and Craig, and he, like, I'll wheel a wheelie bin past him and hide. And like, just like,
why would you hide?
Oh no, because when it goes past him, he looks around. And I just say, "Oh man, Jesus is going to wheel the bins around. Can you get him to empty them, please?" Just shit. But he has a good laugh about it, you know.
Jokingly.
Yeah, it's all jokingly. Some people,
jokes.
Some people you can, some people you can't. But you sort of get to. There's a line you cross with giving people shit and stuff. Or there's a line you get to in a relationship where you're comfortable to give each other shit.
And I suppose with strangers online, you don't have that.
Yeah, and that's why I made it not a public post, because my friends actually know I'm just having a laugh. You know, not one of my friends gave me shit about it, and it's religious friends I got. So,
but someone online, if they see you for the first time, beg something that they dedicate their life to. Yeah. You know, they would obviously take it.
I understand that too, but they're giving me death threats, so are they following their way, or?
I had cancer. We could talk about this a lot, you know. This could be a whole episode of this.
Mate, I had cancer wished upon me and all these horrible things. You're a terrible father and all this. I'm like, fucking come on. I was just joking, taking the piss out of something. You can do that.
Yeah. But you're using it in a way to highlight, you know, the situation here.
Yeah.
You know, what are we talking about exactly?
Yeah, I did it as Barry Bodsworth, the videos I used to do.
But these are important topics that we need to discuss.
Oh, you never get to the end of those ones. The religious debate's always going to be a touchy subject.
You know, it makes me wonder when you have a religious person and they have like ill intent towards an individual, which seems like a bit counterintuitive to their religion.
Yeah. Oh, of course it is. They're willing to kill each other because they believe in something different. It's just it doesn't make any sense. But that's why religion doesn't make any sense. If there was only ever one, maybe you'd naturally be religious because everybody else. I don't know. You know, if there was only one God, but everyone's got these different gods and different things. And I don't. There's too many holes in the story for me. You know, it goes all the way back to Noah. Like, there wasn't a 600-year-old man that
we don't know,
that built a boat and sailed it for 300 years, and I can't cover it. Yeah, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? Yeah. You can't. But that's why I just don't believe it. You know, I can't. It's impossible for me.
I like to hang around religious people.
Yeah,
because I know that they're trying to be good.
Yeah,
and I think that's comforting for me.
Yeah,
that their intent is still to be good.
Oh, I should add, not all religious people are like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. All the ones I know aren't like that.
Exactly.
They don't give me shit for what I believe in. We'll take the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
In fun because we're friends. But you'll never see me put any. After that video I did, I've never put any religious joke on online ever again. Oh, it offended people. What's the point? You're doing it for a laugh, not to create a conflict. So I've never done it since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I give that away. Religion and politics, you leave them out of conversations at the pub and certainly off.
Maybe we need to talk more about religion and politics.
Yeah. Oh, politics is not my. Yeah, I only voted for the first time last year for politics.
First time?
Yeah, well, I never enrolled to vote, so it's pretty hard for them to catch you not being on the electoral roll. But the way I got caught, I bought a new car.
Oh, is that why you voted? Because you got caught?
No, of course
really?
it was, yeah. Look, they don't fine you
Government.
for all... Oh, yeah, well, they don't fine you for all the times you haven't. But you just have to vote from then on. What happened, I bought a new car, and when you buy a brand new car, or a new registration, when you've got a new registration,
okay.
Vic Roads has
there you go.
cross-checking thing, and I didn't know that. I saw you were joking. So now I have to go. But I never wanted to vote because for as long as I can remember, I've always had an opinion that all politicians are really, really selfish. It's all based on
Well, you're right.
greed and money and power. They don't look at it as us as equals to them. They just don't. I can't come at it. I can't.
I definitely agree with the equality thing,
Yeah.
but I think greed is a part of a natural behavior in humans, and I think that's why we've ended up in this predicament with government. I think a lot of people get into, a government role with probably the best intention.
Yeah.
And I think that just with the infrastructure around them, I think it just sets them up for greed to take over.
Yeah,
but greed is not a bad thing. I don't think. I just think it's part of our human behavior.
Yeah.
So how do we nurture that, knowing that it's part of us?
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm a big fan of capitalism.
Yeah.
So that's a big can of worms, isn't it?
Yeah. Anything to do with politics is a can of worms, mate.
It is.
That's bloody shocking. I just I don't watch the news anymore. It's all just bad sort of shit. You know what I mean? Like I buy the newspaper every day, but I read the sports, do the Sudoku crossword, and then I fuck it off.
Sudoku.
Yeah. I love the Sudoku.
Yeah.
Very, very good for your brain too.
I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, they reckon they've done some research. They say if you do one of those, do one of the difficult ones.
Yeah.
Every day, that can actually help ward off. This is what they say. I don't know this is fact. Things like Alzheimer's and shit, because you need to exercise your brain.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a muscle. You know what I mean? It needs to be exercised just like anything else.
Yeah.
That's why my dad's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And he does not so much puzzles like that, but he's online and he plays solitaire on the computer. He plays that. He's got all these numbers. I don't know how it works, but he's got pages and pages of little numbers. They're all sequences, and he can tell me. He's worked out the computer sequence of that particular program.
Really?
Yeah, and he can tell me when he's going to win and when he's going to lose. He'll say, "Watch." Fair enough. Got all these numbers everywhere, but he does that to keep his brain active.
Yeah,
He's amazing, intelligent man.
Does he play chess?
No, he probably used to. Now he just sits on the couch and pretty much does fuck all. He's retired and happy. Yeah, he's funny fella, the old boy.
I love to play chess.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a game of chess.
Really?
No.
I'll have to show you.
Yeah. When you have your next can, mate, because it takes a few hours, doesn't it?
Oh, it depends. 5 minutes. I like 5-minute games. Go fast.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the time? I think you gotta go soon.
Soon. Yeah, I can leave here by 2 and I'll be safe.
Yeah, it's past 2.
Is it? Oh, that's all right. We'll be right.
We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'll come back anyway.
You have to come back.
I'll come back.
Yeah, you have to
tell me
come
when
back,
and I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll come back and have a nice long long talk, mate.
And for viewers at home, the studio isn't finished. Haven't even got the insulation and haven't done the roof. There's a lot I haven't done, but
that's all right.
We're going to start anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
we just go for it.
You've got to get off to a start somewhere.
Yeah. And this is where we start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No dramas.
All right, awesome to have you, Paul. I'm going to let you go, but you definitely have to come back on.
I'll come back on whenever you want, mate. No problem.
Yeah, you got to come back on a few times.
Yeah, no, anytime you want, I'll come. I'll be here.
Awesome.
I'll be a regular for you.
Man, it kind of went really fast, just that.
Yeah.
What was that?
Would have been 40 minutes. 35.
All right, man. I'll let you go.
No worries, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on, Raymondo.